Listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to our Social Media Magic webinar, 12 Things You Need to Know. I'm Fletcher, founder of Mushroom Soufflé, and we create social media magic for businesses. I have to tell you, I am super excited. This webinar is the second in a series of social media magic webinars that we're hosting this year as part of our 5th birthday celebrations. What I want to achieve with this series is to basically cut through the crap of social media for you. I know there's a lot to think about, plan and implement, and it probably isn't your forte. Otherwise, you'd be a social media expert too. And I want to give you clarity of exactly what you need to be doing so you can get the results that you need. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 simple questions you have to ask yourself about your social media in 2014, 4 evil social media traps you must avoid, and 5 crucial tools you need to be using to boost strategy and productivity. Now, to me, this is serious stuff. I am convinced if you don't know these, then you probably shouldn't be doing social media yet. So here at Mushroom Soufflé, we work with owners of small businesses who are confused and overwhelmed by social media, and they're way too busy to tackle it alone. They need to boost brand awareness and achieve increased exposure. They understand that social media is a vital tool in their marketing strategy and wish to take full advantage of the numerous benefits that can be gained. It's about converting quiet, disinterested contacts into superfans, a phrase you are going to hear me repeat more often, and that's a growing, lively, tuned-in community buzzing with activity that attracts more of their ideal clients. We do this through mentoring, bespoke training and strategy sessions, or we just take the weight of it off your shoulders. It's about discovering what solution works best for you and your business. Now, I hope you've got a pen and a big notepad handy and you're ready to take notes, because there is a lot of information coming up that you will want to remember. And we're hoping to have time at the end available for questions and answers, so please send those to us in the question box. Now, I've got a lot to tell you today, and I really can't wait to share it with you, but I also know I'm not going to be able to cover everything you want to know. So at the end of the webinar, I will tell you how to get more information from me. Now, before I dive in, please can I check that you can hear me? If you can hear me, can you please raise your hand? You will see a button in the Go-To Webinar panel. If you're struggling, do let us know using the question box. Have we got hands up? We've got some hands up, so that's good. You can hear me. Now, we're going to move to a poll. I just want to find out quickly about you. So I want to know, how do you feel about your social media right now? I've got lovely Lou here helping me out. So in a moment, you're going to have a poll box pop up on your screen. So I just want you to choose one. So I want to know, it's awesome. It's working just how you need it to be. You know there's a few areas you need help with, but on the whole it's good. You're doing it, but there's possibly gaps in your knowledge and your methods. You're trying, but there's no strategy or forward planning, or you're not doing it at all. So if you could answer that for us. We've got results coming in. Lovely. So bear with me. I will just get the figures from you if you've all finished doing it. Yep. Interesting. So our results are, we've got 25% of you where you know there's a few areas that you need help with, but on the whole it's good. 38% of you, you're doing it, but there's big gaps. And there's another 38 that's saying you're trying it, but there's no strategy or forward planning. So, and it's nice to know there's no one out there that's not doing it at all. So that's great, you know, you're all making an effort. So what we're going to jump into now are the 3 simple questions that you have to ask yourself about your social media this year. This is to make sure you have complete clarity on your social media and the approach you need to take. The first question really is that simple. Why the heck am I doing this? Now, because I've been told to, or because everybody else is, are not good or acceptable answers to this question. Understanding why has to be the most important point to start with. How can you be motivated to put in the effort if you're not clear on this? How can you plan a dynamic strategy if you're not completely on board with why you're integrating social media into your marketing strategy in the first place? What is going to make you dedicate time to it if you don't see the point? Now, I'm very aware you've probably heard all this before, but amazingly, I am still speaking with people day in, day out, who are still not sure what they're doing on social media. They're there because others are talking about it, but still haven't got a full understanding of why they are and why it deserves time being spent on it. I don't want you to be a lemming and follow the others and jump off that cliff. I want you to get all the knowledge you can to make an informed decision that will bring maximum benefit to your business. Social media will be one of the major pillars of your marketing strategy, complementing and reinforcing all other forms of marketing that are taking place. It's about not waiting for your customers to find you, but going out and finding them. Enticing them in with great information and advice that can make a difference to them, and reinforcing that you are the expert in your industry that they should come to when they need more help. This is a proactive approach. It's taking action. I think we all know the days of sitting in the office and waiting for the phone to ring are gone. Not that for us it ever has, because we set up in the middle of a recession. So speaking from experience, social media opens up exciting new business opportunities because people have the chance to access your expert status, experience your brand, and get to know you through your online presence at their own speed that they feel comfortable with. It gives massive flexibility with your marketing and PR needs. And social media gives you the very awesome ability to reach out and communicate regularly with your community of superfans who may otherwise have restricted access to you due to location or times that they're available. It's a way of giving your superfans a reason to stay loyal to you and talk about your product or service to everyone they know. I know this all sounds great, but I also understand that seeing is also believing and is a great motivator and can lead to you really getting it. Now this is the best bit about social media. You can see what everyone else is doing. There is complete transparency. There are social media successes in every industry. Have you seen and heard them in yours? Can you go and find them? Can you see the impact it's having and then decide you want that to happen to your business? Once you fully understand why you want to be using social media for business, then the question should become, why the heck would you not want to do it? So moving on to our second question, it's going to be, what time have I realistically got to focus on this? I know I call it social media magic, but it doesn't magically do it on its own. Initially, it takes a heavy investment of time, effort, and focus to get it up and running with the knowledge and understanding that you need, and then it has to be maintained ongoing. It's also the shop front for your business. The whole world can see it. So why would you not want it to be the best, most proactive, effective and capturing that it can be. I do know you're all very busy, and as a business owner, you are wearing many hats. I do exactly the same, so I completely understand. But not giving yourself time to plan it or manage it will stress you out. You will get frustrated because you're trying to do it in a hurry. You will make mistakes and typos when rushing to write a post, which is not going to say a lot for your attention to detail. You will not bother doing it at all because you haven't got time to think about something inspiring to say to your audience. You will miss out on extremely interesting and potentially crucial conversations. And then you'll decide it's a waste of time because it's not working, but that's because you haven't spent the time on it, which means everything you've done so far is a waste of time. Doesn't sound great, does it? Time is the most precious thing we have. Once it's gone, we can't get it back. Any strategy for your business deserves dedicated quiet time blocked out in your diary, so you have the brain space to plan, create, forecast and brainstorm your way to achieving your targets. I'm telling you now, multitasking is overrated and not the way to go. Nothing gets done effectively if you don't concentrate on it with your full attention. Inspirational content will not appear like magic when you put yourself under pressure. Results from social media can only be got from deliberate, consistent, confident use of the social media networks. Doing it as and when you remember means you're being half-hearted about it and not taking it seriously. This is not going to produce results. Tweeting once a week or updating Facebook or Google Plus or any of your other platforms every fortnight is not going to get you anywhere fast. Your community want regular, fresh, helpful information from you. Without it, they will lose interest in you and go elsewhere. Generally, those doing it on an ad hoc basis haven't got the time to understand how their chosen social media platforms and tools work. So every time they log in, it's a battle as to whether it gets done correctly, and it always takes longer than it should. You need to take the time to integrate social media into your working day. Be realistic about the time you have available. Scheduling 2 hours on a Monday morning when you know you've also got to brief the team, produce reports, and get ready for the rest of the week, we know it's not going to work. Can you try 15 to 20 minutes per day? That's it. Know exactly what you need to achieve in that time. Get in, do it, get back out. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Set an alarm to go off when your time is up. Is managing your social media something you can do on your smartphone? Well, we all know it is, but can you learn how to use it from your smartphone? Can you utilize any dead time in your day, such as waiting for a client if they're running late, or if you have to take the train, or you're sat outside of the school waiting for your kids? So moving on to question number 3. Have I got the right support in place to make this a success? So questioning the time you have available to dedicate to social media may make you realize that you need some help and support, and there is nothing wrong with that at all. Not everyone is comfortable with social media, and as we've seen, it can be time-consuming. So have you got the right people in your team to make sure that you can make it great? Look at your social media requirements and the skills you have between you and your team, and see if you can break it down. This is a great time also to assess how your team feels about social media and to get their input. So can you find out if they're willing to jump on board and get involved? And what can they see it will bring to your business? You never know. Someone might come up with an approach and ideas you haven't even thought of. So looking at your team, Do you have someone who understands how it all works and who can devise a dynamic genius strategy? Is one of your team already a Twitter super user or a massive Facebook fan? Because it will save you time having a confident user. Do you have a talent for copywriting to create blogs, tweets and updates? Knowing how to write them in the correct format with keywords and personality really is a must. Is there someone who doesn't mind doing the routine stuff like scheduling? And then which of you can flex those customer service skills most effectively so you can keep your customers happy online? Surely easing your workload sounds like a great idea. And with the right team behind you, you can achieve so much more. So once you've assessed your options, it could be that you are ready to roll with everything in place. If not, you can look into training options to get your team the right knowledge and the skills that you need to move forward. Or is it going to be money well spent if you outsource it and focus your strengths within the business? That probably generate the majority of the income. So do give those 3 questions great thought. But as with everything we do, there's always going to be pitfalls. And I want to share 4 of them so you can avoid them at all costs, which means saving time, money, and headaches. So evil trap number 1, thinking social media is a quick fix. I come across this quite a lot. Social media is not a quick fix. You would be amazed at how many people are shocked they don't acquire hundreds of Twitter followers overnight. It won't solve all of your marketing or sales challenges instantly. It does take time. We all know this. It takes time to build and nurture relationships. You have to interact, give value, and know what your community needs. Let's be honest, anything that is sold as a quick fix anyway is usually too good to be true and flogged by someone who just wants to take your money and run while providing an inadequate service or product. So that's not what you want. You need a marketing approach that can provide you with solid foundations on which to build your campaigns and community. A method and process that will set you up in good stead as the online world grows more and more dominant, which is and which it will carry on doing so. If you want to hard sell and focus on the quick sale, do cold calling or call door to door or run a mail shot or email campaign followed by a calling campaign. Social media is about helping each other, building your credibility, goodwill and trust. It takes consistent, structured, proactive use to get results. How long have you been interacting with your community? Carry on building the relationships with those you already know and watch your community and customer base grow. Just don't expect it to happen overnight. So evil trap number 2, and this may sound harsh, but it comes from a good place because I want to help you. If your community are not interacting with you then the chances are you're boring them and not managing to engage with them. The messages that you share are vital. I see so many accounts that just sell, 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 me, we are amazing, this is what we do, this is what we think. It's not going to work. I'm going to repeat what I said for evil trap number 1. Social media is about relationships. If you want to hard sell and focus on the quick sell, go cold calling or door to door or run a mail shot in a calling campaign. Listening to someone who just sells themselves all the time is boring. Oh, have you ever been caught by that person at a networking event? You know, the one that pins you in the corner for 10 minutes, only talks about themselves, shows no interest in you whatsoever and never asks a question. They then shove their business card in your hand and disappear looking for the next victim. Everyone avoids them. This is exactly the same. You do not want to be tarred with that brush. So think about your customers. What do they want to know and talk about? What really matters to them? Have you got a list of frequently asked questions that you can use? Have you tried thinking about the conversations you have with your customers when you see them? Can you ask them what topics they would like to see on your blog or your Facebook page? It's always great to inject some humour and really let your personality come through. People want to connect with a real person behind the business, not some formal, impersonal business image. Interacting and holding conversations is great. People love to feel included, that you are taking time to talk with them. Even if you're a little bit shy at first in chatting, no one can see you. Practice makes perfect, and your confidence will grow as you get used to it. So evil trap number 3. Listening to the wrong advice from the wrong people. I would be rich if I had £1 for every time someone said to me, but my teenage daughter told me, or a friend said that, or I do this because my boyfriend suggested. In any of these cases, have they been experts in social media? No, they haven't. Would you take tax advice from your hairdresser? I sincerely hope not. No more than I would ask my accountant to cut my hair. The problem is, very often, anyone who uses social media for personal use usually thinks they know how it works. This is social media for business. It is a whole different ballgame. And the same actually goes for traditional marketing experts. Traditional marketing methods are very different to the way in which social media interacts. I have regularly heard traditional marketers giving their opinion and advice on social media. And to me, it's been blatantly obvious they have no idea what they're talking about or how the different platforms operate. Your business deserves the best advice and the guidance it can get from someone you trust, someone who understands your business, has proved their credibility, and that you feel comfortable in working with. Make sure they tick all the boxes, and you can assess the feasibility of the advice before you go implementing anything. Don't forget, the world can see your social media, so you need it to be the best, most proactive, effective, and capturing that it can be. Evil trap number 4, not measuring your activity and your results. Now, this is vitally important, but I think a lot of people are fuzzy on how to do this, or they forget, or they don't have the processes in place. How do you know if your social media is working if you're not measuring it? Social media can be fun, but you need to make sure it's not time and money down the drain. You have to make sure that you're analysing activity to see you are meeting your targets and your goals. Each company will have different targets depending on their business type and setup. You must set these at the beginning of your social media strategy so that you have something to aim for. Are you tracking where all your inquiries and sales are coming from? By this, I simply mean, when you receive new business, do you ask your customer where they heard about you? Most customers are more than happy to give you this information. Can you see where your website traffic is coming from and how much there is? Google Analytics is free and just needs a code to be inserted by your web developer or you if you built your own. Are you keeping track of the growth of your community? You could create a report that you complete each week or month to identify increases or decreases in your fans, followers, and connections. If you get a sudden influx of new people, can you find out why? Are you using analytical tools to see where your traffic is going and the activity that is happening on your profiles? Can you see what blogs, tweets, and updates are generating a response. This is super important. What makes people click on your links? Can you see a difference depending on the phrasing or the language that you use? You want to be able to isolate what is working from what isn't working. If it isn't working, ditch it. If it is working, have a little victory dance and look into how you can create more successful content. Also, what time did your posts go out? Find the optimum times to share your messages. Look at weekdays versus weekends and different times of the day and night. Not measuring it means you have no idea what benefits you are experiencing or what's working. Decide what metrics you are tracking to validate and improve upon your social media efforts. Which conveniently takes me on to my last section. The 5 social media tools that I can't live without. Now, utilizing tools is about being as slick as possible in your planning, implementation, and measuring. Without tools, you are going the long way round, making it hard work and wasting time. Now, there are lots of options to choose from out there, and some will suit you and some won't. One size doesn't fit all, but you need to start somewhere and get processes in place so it flows smoothly and easily for you. So what I've chosen to share with you are the 5 tools that we rely on here at Mushroom Soufflé on a daily basis. They work for us, and I cannot imagine trying to do this without them. Social media Bibles. Okay, this is the basis of everything that you will do. Everything we do here relies on Bibles, or to you, they'll be your operations manuals. You want your social media tasks to become automatic, quick, efficient processes that come naturally to you. If you do your social media in a different way every day, it's going to take longer to carry out, and you will have to think twice before completing an action. Look at what you do on a quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily cycle. Quarterly might be seasonal strategy. Monthly, you may be looking at creating your content and scheduling. Weekly could be tracking your statistics and activity. Daily is your ad hoc interactions and monitoring of activity. Create your processes and write them down. Make this your method that you follow every day, week and month. It then becomes habit for you. And don't forget to update your Bible when you make tweaks to be more efficient. And all this means, yep, your social media flows quicker, easier, and it's less stressful. You have to love that. And it means if you want to delegate select areas to a team member, then you've already got their training manual in place. And it means if you go on holiday or you're ill, it won't fall down without you because your backup knows just what to do. So tool number 2. It's a spreadsheet. No, I'm not crazy. Okay, you probably think I am, but seriously, this will make your life a whole lot easier for creating your tweets, posts, and updates. You want to begin to build up what I call a library of content. This is a record of all the messages you create in different formats needed for tweets, Facebook posts, Google Plus and LinkedIn updates to share your expert hints and tips, promotional messages, events, competitions, seasonal advice, and guidance on the different topics that you cover. You can have a list of all the images that you share with titles, links, and intros that go with them, blog links and video links too, and keep track of all the hashtags and keywords that you use. And then all you have to do is just copy-paste them into whichever social media network that you want to share them on, or into HootSuite when you're scheduling. You should be producing fresh messages every month. So over time, your library of content will increase, giving you a wider variety of information to share, which means no chance of your community ever getting bored. Can you imagine for a moment your seasonal messages? After 12 months, you have each of the seasons covered, and you can reuse them every year with a few tweaks here and there. Create a couple more each time they come around, but it means you've already done the hard work. So don't be like a hamster on a wheel. It should get easier and quicker the longer you're doing it. You can have a different tab on the spreadsheet for every different subject that you can talk about in your business. Then you know exactly what you need to be concentrating on. I'm sure you can imagine ours. We've got separate tabs for social media tips, which is naturally divided down into Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, productivity, and so on. Webinars, Christmas, summer, speaking events, well, you get the idea. Having a central database of all your content will prevent you from duplicating work, and then you can see everything that you have. Next, we're going to look at Twitter lists. Do you ever look at your Twitter newsfeed and just think, oh, what's the point? There's just too much to look through. Yeah, it can be a little like searching for a needle in a haystack if you're looking for specific information. But you can pop tweeters into lists that you can categorize in any way you like so that you only see tweets from those people. How much of a lifesaver is that? It's really simple. On your Twitter app, on your phone, or on your computer. You just go to Me, and then find the Lists option, create a new list, and just start adding people to it by clicking on the cog icon on their profile. You can have lists for local people, industry information, networking contacts, niche areas that you're interested in, associates, suppliers, leads, absolutely anything. You just select that list to be able to focus on those you want to communicate with at that moment. Streamlining and removing all of the white noise going on around you. Genius. Next, yes, you've got it. I'm going to move on to my beloved HootSuite. I am a super fan. So for those of you who have escaped my enthusiastic ravings about HootSuite before, I will explain more. This is a social media management dashboard that gives you the ability to manage multiple social networks from one place. HootSuite is not the only one who does this. You may have heard of TweetDeck, Social Oomph, or Buffer. However, I choose HootSuite because that's the one that works for me best in terms of visuals and functionality. You can link all of your profiles, including Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, WordPress, Foursquare, MailChimp, YouTube, and many others. No more logging in and out of numerous sites and trying to remember what you have posted where. It's about time saving, being more streamlined, being able to plan and have an overview of what messages are going where. You can schedule your messages in advance. The best way to make sure your messages are getting out there. Now, let's get something straight. I do not recommend scheduling everything and then ignoring it. What you do is schedule the backbone of your social media activity. You know, your expert hints and tips, events, networking, competitions, and offers. Doing this also means you have to plan in advance. Then you can do your normal interacting over the top. Hold conversations, retweet, and making new contacts. Also, if you have a mega busy day and you're struggling to get onto any of your social media, you know you're still visible and helping others with your knowledge. HootSuite also helps you to track brand mentions. Keeping up with what is being said about your brand is essential. How can you respond to correct misinformation or thank people for singing your praises if you don't listen into the conversation? You also have to analyze your social media traffic. Again, how are you going to know if your social media is working if you don't see what is happening with your social media traffic? You can drill down into Facebook Analytics, Google Analytics, Twitter stats with the followers, mentions, keywords, and much more. And the best bit is you can create reports to give you the information you need, but they do charge extra depending on what you want. There are different levels of plans you can have. They offer a basic, which is free, the pro version, which I use, and an enterprise level for the corporates. You will have to compare the packages to see which will suit you best with the functionality that you need. I don't know what I would do without it. And then our last tool is SumAll. So this is a relatively new one that we've started using, but it's fantastic. It's another option for analyzing your social media activity. SumAll holds all of your data in one spot for fast and simple comparisons. If you run a promotion on Twitter, you can pull up your Google Analytics alongside your Twitter data to see how much traffic your tweets really directed. You can explore your data and see trends and patterns with the ability to roll up or drill down and compare periods of time all in a click. And you can have personalized daily or weekly emails, or they've got a mobile app as well for ease of use. And at the moment, SumAll is free. They're working on paid versions, but getting there while it's not charging. I like it because I'm a visual person, so it shows all your traffic in charts and you can compare them. And it's just so flexible for any of your social media platforms. Our 3 questions, 4 traps, and 5 tools should give you clarity as to what to do and what to avoid. Steps to be more organized and productive, and the ability to make your social media more manageable and effective. Plan proactively, stay focused, and on track. Do you remember at the beginning of the webinar, I promised to tell you how to get more information from me? Well, I have a special gift for you. I'm offering you a complimentary one-to-one telephone social media breakthrough session with me for 30 minutes. We will discover what is preventing your social media success, explore your options for 2014, and identify the one simple step you can take immediately to get into action. If you're ready to take action and start boosting your social media presence as you've always imagined, I urge you to apply for one of these 5 limited spots with me right now. But you have to be taking this seriously and dedicate to making your social media really work for you. Again, we will discover what is preventing your social media success and the one simple step you can take immediately to get into action. So it's really easy. All you have to do is email us on office@mushroom-soufflé.co.uk. You can see the email there on the screen. Put breakthrough call in the subject to receive our simple application form. Now I want you to do that now. Don't procrastinate if you've decided now is the time to be successful with your social media. If you don't take action, nothing will change. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that again. Email us on office@mushroom-soufflé and put breakthrough call in the subject to receive your application form. Do that now. Do not procrastinate. So that brings us to the end of the webinar. Thank you very much. And we do have some time for some questions. So you will see there's a question box in your GoToWebinar panel. Get typing and pop them over to us. And bear with me while I see if we've got any yet. Okay. So I've got a first one that's come in. It says, I'm concerned about getting others involved in my social media. Is it really a good idea? Okay, well, fair point, absolutely. I completely agree with that consideration. Social media is extremely important. I like to think I've been highlighting that all the way through. Getting other people involved in your social media is a great idea as long as they've got the right talents and skills that you need them to help you with, and they understand social media. They also have to understand your business, what your goals and targets are, what your personality is, you know, the online persona that you want to put across. It can take time to get someone to that speed. Obviously, if you've got a team member already involved in your business who understands it all already, then that's great. Maybe they just need a little bit of training. But take it slowly. Don't expect people just to be able to jump in and help you, because it is absolutely vital that they understand exactly what they're doing and they're going to represent your business in the way that's best for you. Okay, well, apparently I've covered absolutely everything and we have no more questions. So I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Please send us an email for your application form for your complimentary 30-minute social media breakthrough call. Thank you for taking your time out of your Thursday with us, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon. Bye-bye.